1.
Welcome to Reset to Healthier Relationships Sunday night at 9. I am Coach Glenda here with Mr. Carpenter, my course manager, and we have created this format as a safe place to discuss struggles, and victories in past and present relationships. This is not a one-size-fits-all open discussion. There is no topic too minor or major that we cannot discuss. We encourage everyone to participate and speak their truth. This is a non-judgmental zone, so talk as much or as little as you would like. And before we start off with tonight's topic, I will give Mr. Carpenter a few minutes to give us a little bit of his background and tell us a little bit about himself before we dive in tonight's topic of discussion.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Sunday night at 9. I'm your co-host, Rufus Carpenter, as she said. And before I tell you a little bit about myself, I want to say, hey, Dr. Johnson. Hey, Ava. Hey, Gigi. Hey, Annette. How y'all doing tonight?
Good.
Good. Glad to see you here because tonight is another great topic. Oh, tonight is another good one. Tonight's topic is something that we all need to get involved with tonight. Now, we sent you a copy of our outline. We sent you the same outline that we're using for tonight as part of the invitation to bring you on tonight. So you can follow along the outline because this is something we want you to really get involved in. Because when you're talking about the subject tonight, it's something that we all face every day in our life. And in a relationship and you're close, you're really going to face it. And no matter whether you're religious, not religious, you're gonna face it, okay? Now, I'm Rufus Carpenter, and I come to this relationship background just a little bit different than most. My background started as a little child, wanting to be a helper. It was 14 in my family, had 8 brothers and 5 sisters, and we lived in a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house, and we never seemed to have enough or anything. So I would always go out and on the weekend try to do what I can to pitch in. I would sell pop bottles. I would cut wood. I would rake grass. I would wash people cars, and I'd run chores with people. This one particular weekend, I made like $35 and some change. And I was so happy because that's the most money I ever made in my life. So I ran to my mom to give it to her, and she saw the money. She kissed me. She said, son, oh, I'm so proud of you. When she kissed me and told me that, and then she said, hey, look, this is $1 and like 35 cents. She said, you keep this for yourself, baby. I was hooked. From that point on, I was going to do whatever it takes to make my mama and people around me proud and glad that I was a helper. So that has stuck with me. I'm 70 years old now, and I'm still a helper. And that's one reason why I got involved with this subject, this topic right here, Sunday night at 9, because this is a community chance for us to help somebody. This format is simple. It's where you and 20 of your girlfriends are in your living room and you relax, you pause, and you may have a glass of wine or whatever your beverage of choice is, and you get to talk about relationships. Because nowhere in the community do we talk about the relationships of day in and day in, relationships between man and woman, or man and man, or between family members. Where do you talk about that at? Because the biggest messes we make in our lives are with our finances and our relationships. So that's why we came on board, to be a place where you can get that training and you can get that understanding. And think about it. If you and 20 of your girlfriends are in your living room talking, you guys have experienced a gamut of everything. You've had, in that circle is divorce. In that circle, it's baby daddy, baby mama. In that circle, it's things like, what do I need to do to keep my relationship intact? He don't love me no more, or she don't love me no more. What I'm gonna do? You get to ask your friends what you share your circumstances. And you don't know how sometimes you saying what's important to you or what you just went through and conquered and came out on the other side victorious through, you get to share with the girlfriends that right beside you. That sister girl may not even have a clue how to do this. When I talked to a lady once, and she was in a unhealthy marriage, and she told me she didn't know how she didn't know she could get out. She thought once you're married, life is better or worse, and she didn't have much better. She just stood in the worst. But you can get out, and that's what this is about. My story didn't stop as a young child. I was married 27 years. And if you get married it's that long, you'll learn things about compromise, you learn things about trust, you learn things about communication, and you definitely get the chance to get to that deeper relationship. Story didn't stop there. I joined the United States Army. And when I was in the Army, one of my responsibilities was a human relation, race relation leader, where I had a responsibility of going and inspecting or investigating any relationships or racial issues we had in our unit. I'd be the first person on the scene, and I'd do what we call an intake form. And with an intake form, I would gather enough information to decide whether it's something that we can do at our level or something we had to push up to a higher level for authority. And like I said, the format here is like you and 20 of your girlfriends in the living room. Now, 20 of you and your girlfriends in the living room, and there's no man there, you might have a question a man need to answer. So I'm the man in the room tonight. So if you have a question that you want a man to answer, I'm here. I'm here, full force, I'll answer it. Okay, Glenda, back to you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Carpenter. All right, ladies, tonight's topic is navigating conflict, turning disputes into opportunities for growth. We are going to discuss how to navigate and resolve conflicts in relationships. Now, before we, dive into the material, I just want to ask you ladies and the audience tonight, do you guys have any, can you provide me with an example on how when you was in your relationship, you resolved the conflict that arose on whatever topic or situation that arises in your relationship? Do you have an example of how you resolve that issue?
Okay, audience, looking at our audience, I know what one of the things they did. Deuces.
Well, I wouldn't say deuces immediately. I believe that some of the women they tried other things prior to, tapping out and giving them the peace sign. So, I mean, does anyone have any, comment on what they did to resolve the conflicts in their relationship? Were they an active listener? Were they, did they, clarify the issue at hand? How did they resolve? How did you guys resolve your issues in your relationship? Please don't tell me nobody up here had issues in your relationships, because I know I had plenty. And most of them ended up as agreeing to disagree.
Good evening. This is Annette.
Yes, Annette.
I have had many different conflict resolution tactics. I think I've had a growth. My first ones a long time ago, and I think about myself is I kind of was argumentative. If there was a difference, I'm ready to go to combat. Like Rufus said, deuces, I'm ready for war. But I have learned that in the process of time, I learned how to kind of step back and think about it myself, to internally rationalize what the situation is and a solution. And then I go back to try to clarify to make sure I truly understood the conflict as it actually is. I just wasn't putting more in my head than what actually happened or what was on hand. And once I realized what the true problem was, I just try to see if we could work with it by communicating.
Okay.
That's what I did. That's
great. Thanks for the feedback. Anyone else want to share?
Well, while they're deciding what they want to say, let me comment about what Annette said, because Annette gave us some great information there, some good feedback. Because one of the objectives of the night is we want to give you some tools. We want to give you some effective tools. And the tools we're going to give you are simple. They're not nothing major or something out of this world, or you got to have a major degree to do. The tools we give you tonight is going to be simple tools. Because one thing about life, and like if you're religious or not, the writer James says even temptation and trouble And diverse temptations are going to always come upon us. That's part of life. That's the way life is. Like it's seed time and harvest, but even seed time and harvest, when you plant your seed, you get thistles and you get weeds and all that stuff to come up in it. So you got to weed that stuff out in order to make your get your return or get your a harvest out. So in relationships, it's the same way. When two people get together, they're not always going to agree, and sometimes that disagreement is going to be forceful. It's going to, like Annette said, argumentative. And a lot of times, when you have a disagreement, it's a lack of information. Because Annette said she comes back for clarity, and she makes sure she communicated. Because you're going to find out if you actually listen to a person, and not you want to be heard, but the person that has a conflict, if you listen to them and let them know that you're listening, you're active listening, and especially if you repeat back what they said, and you don't use the term you use the term I misunderstood, or maybe I gave you the wrong information, or maybe I didn't understand quite what you said, so I proceeded doing this. Mm-hmm. Maybe I should have stepped back, like Annette said, gave it some chance to think. Right. And then start all over again. Right. Because when a person in your relationship, the majority of the time you have conflicts in your relationship, it's because somebody didn't know, or somebody need more information, or they need clarity. So as we proceed tonight, we're going to give you a lot of good tools to work with, but the tools work better when you work with us. Tonight should be a great interactive night, because all you guys had conflict with your children, you had conflict with your neighbor, you had conflict with your coworkers, you had conflict with your boss, you had conflict with your lover, you had conflict with your side, whatever. You've had conflict with your best friend that you've been knowing since high school, and you 67, 50 years old. So conflicts have been something all of our life. Some people call them arguments. Some people call them disagreements. Some people call them that fool crazy. It's all kind of names. So let's use the night to enjoy and work through this and find some great tools to solve some of this stuff. Who else want to share how they deal with conflict resolution? Because to be honest with you, I didn't know what conflict resolution was, the term, until I was like 25 years old. When I first, and that's when I said, how do you handle conflict? Conflict resolution? What the heck they talking about? And then they told me an argument. Oh, I got that. I just tell them to kiss my. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I turn it back over to you guys.
Did anyone have another example or feedback or comment they wanted to make on how they resolve conflict in their relationship? Okay, we got something in the chat. Sharon says, so true, Ruth is not talking too much because, all right. Sharon, I hope you feel better, and thank you so much.
To be honest with you, I knew Sharon was going to weigh in there, because I know Sharon, she handled conflict real easy, because she halfway between deuces. She halfway between deuces and we'll see.
Well, she's a little under the weather, but she showed up, so she is still supporting. So we're going to just go on to the next one.
Okay.
All right. Well, since no one else want to share,
Glenda, share, how do you handle conflict, Glenda? Let's share. I want to hear you. How do you handle conflict?
What?
With using the term I, that's taking a stance of being humble.
Yes, it is. Exactly.
And not defensive. Mm-hmm. So I learned to resolve conflicts with being more humble, and just being patient and understanding, like Annette said, what did I hear? Did I hear it clearly? Did I understand it right?
Right. So. Now, you're absolutely right. I will agree with you on that.
And when you use that I, when you say I, the person can't get mad with you, because you're not pointing the finger at them. You point your fingers at yourself. You've taken the blame of, you softened the blow, and you gave them a chance to step back, breathe, and say, okay, she's empathizing with him. She's trying to do that. I got a light problem in my house, so for some reason my lights are blinking.
Oh, okay, because
So
I thought that was the poltergeist for a second there.
no,
Like,
it's the weather. My lights are blinking. I gotta get it fixed. And I called my home insurance, and they said I got another 30 days before they'll fix electrical. So we're dealing with it. All right, go ahead, Glenn. I'm sorry. Are you there? Uh-oh. Y'all didn't freeze, did you? Hello? Oh, I thought you were froze. I was going to say. I thought now it seem like everything's going. All right, we're there. We're back now. I'm sorry. Let me take a moment to reset my power. Go ahead, Glenda. You can still talk, and I will go reset my power right quick.
okay, no problem. All right. Hello, Andre. How are you? Thank you for showing up.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, tonight we're talking about navigating conflict, turning disputes into opportunities for growth. And so far, we've talked about using the I statement, being an active listener. Also, we have being empathetic first. You know, when someone starts talking, you want to be empathetic, understand their feelings before rushing to fix anything. You want to make sure you have a full understanding of what's being talked about before you just start to dive in and start, cutting up and, trying to fix something and you're not sure what you're really fixing because you want to make sure you fix it right. So I have an illustration example I want to share with you guys, and I want you guys to chime in and give me a little bit of feedback and tell me what you think. So we have, let's imagine Shaniqua and her partner, Marcus. They've been arguing about Marcus forgetting their anniversary. Now that's a little deep, but it happens. So, I mean, nobody, no relationship is perfect. And, sometimes we do forget those most important, dates in our, in our lives. But at the same time, you have to be a little understanding because one person may hold the anniversary like, it's a big deal. I can't believe you. How can you forget your anniversary? That's the day we said I do. We wanted to be together for the rest of our lives, But Shaniqua, when you forget, she was telling Marcus that when he forgot, she felt as if it didn't matter. That is how she explained it to him, how she voiced how she felt about him forgetting their anniversary. So in response, now, you know what? I'm not even going to tell you what Marcus said. I want somebody to tell me how would they respond to Shaniqua if she told you that, what would be the proper response from Marcus? Because she was telling him that she felt like she didn't matter because he forgot their anniversary. So who wants to tell me how?
Before you ask that question,
Okay, go ahead.
Andre put it in the comments. Do women still get mad of little stuff like that? I think we need to address that comment first, and then we need to go. Then we need to go to what Marcus said.
Well, yes, I do. For me personally, I would take it a little personal. Yes, because how can you forget that? What about anyone else in the audience tonight? How would you feel if your spouse or your partner forgot your anniversary? How would you feel? Would it be a big thing, or it'd be like, okay, whatever, we'll just celebrate another weekend or another day? What do you think, audience?
It depends too if this was his first time or it has happened a few times before.
Okay, if he's a frequent, if he's a habitual offender, that makes a huge difference. Because if it happens often, you may be in your feelings a little bit.
Andre came back on and Andre came on and said before Sharon said mad as hell. Andre came back on and said that he's busy paying the bills and taking care of the kids. Jesus said then it's a habit.
But still, even if the man is paying the bills, I mean, how would he feel if his birthday was forgotten? Or a date that he holds in high regard? What if one of his very important dates on his calendars was forgotten, how would he feel if his partner forgot all about it? Andre, you got a response for that?
Yeah, he said, y'all forget about the man's birthday anyway. And y'all buy him a tie for Father's Day.
It doesn't always happen that way, Andre. It doesn't always happen that way. Now, I've heard that most men get the short end of the stick during Valentine's Day, because I think Valentine's Day is supposed to be a woman's holiday. I've seen it both ways. I'm indifferent, I'm a cheerful giver. So, even if we decide to celebrate, I'll give you a decent gift. I won't just give you a tie or just take you out to eat. It'll be a fair exchange.
Okay. Andre in the text so fast I can't read it, so I'm gonna leave it.
His last
do the chat.
his last comment is, we get the short end even on leap year. Andre, what you trying to say? Somebody ain't been treating you right, honey?
Nope.
Nope.
You guys are something else.
Okay. Now somebody tell me, how do you think Marcus should respond to Shaniqua about forgetting their anniversary?
Now, I've been a Marcus a time or two, so I guess I can say, the first thing, it took me a long time to realize that women want you to apologize. I was kind of guy that, okay, I said, okay, I understand I did. Okay, let me go get you something right now. But I forgot the part about the apology. I forgot the part about showing empathy. I forgot the part about making her feel special. I forgot the part about giving her the chance to realize that it was an oversight versus a way of a norm for me. And I thought if I go get something right now and get something good, I thought we were straight. But I didn't, then later on she would say, you never apologize. You never apologize, and it hurts my feelings. It just hurt me how you just feel like you just walk all over me. And I'm saying, damn, I got you something. But I had to learn. So that's why I'm telling you, since I've become a relationship coach, I've learned so much, and I see where I had issues in the past. So maybe I must have been a good lover, or my money was long or something. So I kept people, because I was doing stuff to mess up a whole bunch of relationships. And they stayed. So it wasn't my character. It must have been something else I was doing that worked. Because now I said, wow, I was pitiful back then. I was Big James song. I wasn't very nice back then, So,
thank you for being so open and honest, Mr. Carpenter.
Hey, but now I know now. So now this is one reason why I stay close to you, Glenda, because now I know now, and I'm trying to right some of them wrong, and I'm trying to move forward. I'm trying to give people another way so they don't have to do that much. That's why tonight our tools are so easy to understand and so on time. And it's nothing really there's nothing major. I think Glenda's already talked about too. She's already talked about active listening. And all you have to do is listen with empathy. Look in a person's eye when they talk to you. Let them know that you understand what they say. Every now and then, yes, I understand. And record and quote back what they're saying, kind of like let them know that you're in the conversation with them. And the second one, you said, empathy first. Put yourself in their shoes. How would you feel if someone did you the way that you're doing them? Because like I was doing stuff and I took for granted everything was cool.
Right.
But really, I was hurting my woman. I was taking small stabs in her, and she was getting lesser and lesser and lesser and lesser and lesser throughout the relationship. And I wasn't aware. I'm not going to say I didn't care. I'm going to just say I wasn't aware. Okay. Okay. All right, Glenda, I'm sorry.
No problem. Okay. All right. So let's see. So in this analogy, what Marcus and Shaniqua, I guess more or less they to resolve their issue right here, they should plan to make a date night and set reminders for future anniversary. So that would be that would be the best conflict resolution for this particular situation. So I'm pretty much in agreement. You know, for those special holidays and special dates that you hold dear to you. I know for myself and my friends, my closest friends and family, I have reminders on my calendar. So I always get a notification, maybe if I'm not mistaken, the day before. And you know, sometimes they get a gift, and sometimes they don't. Depends on what the money look like. You know, because how my checking account set up, it's on and off again sometimes. So we're going to move along to our next illustration, our next example for this evening. Do anyone want to share anything before we move on this last example? If you
Um,
go ahead,
I,
Annette.
I would like to say something. You know, I think with that, I listen to the comments and I'm hearing what you guys are saying. But for me, maybe I'm just a hardcore, but I think that's something we would have to have discussed in our marriage or in our relationship or whatever before, because maybe you don't have to do this for me. I've
Okay.
known people that give their spouse or their lover or their mate a gift for their anniversaries or whatever, and I know they're doing a whole lot of other things behind the scene that if that person knew, that gift doesn't mean what they think it meant. You know, they
Mm,
look at it as if they say, "Oh, we so in love with this." Is it? Oh no, that's not the answer. That's not it. So my thing of it is to determine in my relationship, or what I would say is when our anniversary come, I would like for you to recognize me with a gift, or I need you to do something special for me. Let's get it known already. Then if you forget, I got a problem with that,
right.
because we have already established what it takes for me or what it take in this relationship. So that's the way I look at a gift for anniversary or whatever in a relationship is, what is the standing? What is our norm? What do we need to happen for us versus the fact that it's just that date? You understand?
Right.
Very
Now,
much so.
Cool. Thank you.
just Annette, from you don't have to respond or give me any feedback on my comment, but it sounds like you're the type of person that when you start off in a relationship, you like to lay all the cards on the table, so you don't got to say yes.
Pretty much so. Pretty much so. When it
Okay, all
what
right,
matters,
you
not
volunteered
if
to
it
start.
matters, if it matters to the heart, yes, let's get
Okay,
it known. But
and that's
just in
good.
general, yeah,
That's good because I am learning here recently about being open and honest. And sometimes when you're being open and honest on what you want and the, you know, expectations and stuff, or even when you get new information about someone, you know, you gotta take, you know, you have to really you have to be an active listener, and then you gotta be like, what the oh.
yeah, yeah, cool, yeah,
And you know, you have to make an executive decision for yourself. Like, you know, can I deal with this? Is this a deal breaker? You know, how do you
right,
want to proceed? But sometimes knowing the good, bad, and the ugly up front, it helps you in your relationship because sometimes it's really not, especially if it's something in the past, a bad habit or something that really bothers you. Like right now, I can't believe you did that back then. You know,
right,
to be able to accept that individual, you have to look beyond their past and look towards the future because it really
right.
didn't have anything to do with you.
That's right. Yes,
But you have to
that's right.
lay everything out on the table in the beginning. That's why it's
Yeah,
important to be open and honest.
yeah.
You
For
know,
me, that's the way it is, because I'm like, let's talk about it, because I'm paying attention.
yes,
So when we miss a beat, I'm paying attention.
yes, I am
Miss a
listening.
beat.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes. Mr. Carpenter, were you about to say something?
Yeah, I hate to keep always picking it back on Annette, and I apologize for always picking it back on Annette. But Annette be dropping little gems of gold that really makes a difference in life, because all of us are kind of older than 25 on this line. I don't think we have any babies on this line. So because of that, some of us are set in our ways. Some of us been 1, 2, maybe 3 relationships. So that means we've got a little baggage anyway, or we've got our way of doing things. And normally when you go to somebody that you're our age and talk to them, they got their way of doing things. So you're always going to have some issues. It's always going to be some issues, always going to be, well, this is the way I do it. You know, I paid $1,000 to go to a seminar once. And the head speaker, before it was a lady, before she started talking, she told a story about toilet paper in the bathroom. And I said, I'm paying $1,000 to get some wisdom. This woman talking about toilet paper in the bathroom. And this was about 10 years ago. And now I'm thinking about it. Hell, I'm still thinking about toilet paper in the bathroom, so it must have worked. She said that her and her husband always fuss about the toilet paper. She says if she go in there and the roll's empty, she'll change it. And she said she had the toilet paper going under, had the paper going under. She said with her husband going up, if he change it back to going over. She said it pisses her off when that toilet paper is going over. And she said they argue about the toilet paper being placed. And you know what? Now when I go in somebody's bathroom, I realize I like it over. And I change it. So when you think about it, little things, we argue about some of the darndest things. So when Annette said that before they get involved, they sit down. If it matters, they talk about it. And we call that runway in relationships. We call that runway, that ramping up time before you and that person be considered y'all in a normal relationship long term. You guys say some ground rules and you lay it out. And then if somebody don't do the ground rules, then you have an issue. And Annette made that she made that very clear. And if you take the time to decide how you're going to solve your problems before you get to go long-term relationship, you have a roadmap. If you say, if we have issues, I want you to listen to me first. Before you cut me off or interrupt, let me get it all out. Because half the time, you let me get it all out, by the time I get it out, we're done and I cool down. But if you cut me off in the middle of my sentence, we might fight tonight. See,
yeah, that's true.
These are the things that you need to do. And Annette brought out a great point. You need to talk about it because, like she said, she's paying attention. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. I give it back.
No, you had made a good comment because I call that being discounted in a conversation. It's like when I'm trying to get a point across and you try to talk down to me or trying to like discount what I'm saying, like it ain't all that. Yes, it is. If I'm saying something about it, yes, it is. I would rather for you to agree to disagree with me than just discount it. Like, girl, we're gonna talk about something else. I don't, cause see now that right there, I'm ready to go to war on that one. You sleeping on the couch or at your mama's house, or you might not even see me for a week. But
that's gonna be the conflict.
But hey, that's I don't like being discounted. I want to be heard, just like you. Okay, so let's see the next illustration we have tonight. Okay, we have Keisha and her sister arguing about holiday plans. Now, Keisha, she made all the plans without asking her sister, and she left her out. So her sister was upset. She said, I didn't realize that it hurt. Keisha was telling Tanya, her sister, I didn't realize that it hurt you. I just wanted to make it easier. But her sister Tanya felt, she was in her feelings a little bit because she felt like, how can you make all the plans without even including me or asking for my input? So in this particular scenario, how do you think that, what's a better way that Keisha could have handled the situation with her sister Tanya? Should she have included her, or she had just, maybe they had an issue last year and the plans that Tanya had brought to the table, they didn't work out. So Keisha just took the lead on the holiday plans and did everything, but then it offended Tanya. So how, what's another way this could have played out? Anyone want to provide any feedback on that illustration tonight?
Now, what do you call an alligator trap? Explain that to me, because I never heard of alligator trap.
I meant to say trip, but Glenda knows what I'm referring to.
Okay, I can understand alligator trip, but I didn't understand alligator trap.
Oh, did I get lost in the chat?
I don't
Remember,
know.
you said your friend girl did a trip and y'all went somewhere and the alligators was there and
Yes.
see?
Yeah. Oh
Oh, I
my
remember
goodness.
that. Oh, yeah, that was about 3 or 4 episodes back. Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Oh, yes. Oh my goodness. Yes, you are absolutely right. She planned it, didn't he ask my input? And I had to tell her when we got back to the hotel, next time, when you plan excursions, a little, events, but please talk to me first. Please. Because I don't do reptiles at all.
And let me share the reason why we use this illustration of Keisha and Tanya,
Mhm.
because if you put, they talked about holiday plans. If you put buying a car, if you put doing furniture in a house, or if you put buying a new house, and if you put deciding where the kids go to school at, if you put deciding where the family would go to church at, when you just put how much money we're going to spend on entertainment, when you put how are we going to plan vacations, if you put how much money we're going to set up in savings, if we put what's the cap we're going to put on when you go gambling, when you put this, that's why we use this, because this is just a trigger. It's so many things that your spouse, your friend, your relatives, your whatever, they decide for you. In other words, they don't give you an opportunity. They don't even value your input. Matter of fact, they try to keep from getting your input, because it's bottom line. Here's what we're gonna do. Not here's what we're gonna plan together, but here's what we're gonna do. So how do you feel about that? How do you back that down, or how do you say no? It ain't going like that. How do you take your power back? Because you're in a relationship, and some of you might be in a marriage, or you might be in a relationship right now where the other side, or the other partner is taking your control, is taking your power away from you, and you getting along, go along.
Mhm.
How would you handle that? Somebody give me a way that I should handle. If I'm in a relationship where my spouse and my partner then took my power, and I'm humble, okay, babe, no problem. If that's what you want, we're gonna do it. Give me something. What would you tell me? How would you say, Rufus, look, here's the best way to handle that? Other than Glenda, not Glenda, other than Glenda, tell me. You smiling at me, Dr. Johnson.
Well, I would go over the plans. What were the plans? Go over the plans that were made and see if I would want different changes.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to give me more than that, because if they gave me the plan, they always give me the plan. It's not so much that plan. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that plan. I'm talking about they always planning, so they're taking my power, not that plan, that act of always taking my power. How would I address that, Dr. Johnson?
Well, I would explain to them that, from now on, we'll make the plans together.
Can you tell me what that would look like?
Sitting down and making the plans together. I mean, you're not gonna make all the plans without my acknowledgement or
That's it.
without my consent or consideration.
That's good. That's awesome. And somebody put, oh, Coach Glenda. What was that, Coach Glenda? It was too much for me to
I was
read.
responding to one of Andre's responses, so you could just
Okay.
keep going.
Okay. Yeah. So thanks for that, Dr. Johnson, because the deal is this for her illustration, it wasn't so much the holiday plans, it was that her sister took her power. And that happens a lot in relationships. And it sometimes it's innocent, sometimes it's not. Like Annette said, she pay attention. If this is the habit and it happen all the time, they're taking your power. And if you paying attention, you shut that down. or if it's not an issue, hey, then if you much rather have somebody determine your life, then no problem. But life is something that you should be involved in too. It's interactive. It's interactive. Okay. Go ahead, Glenda.
Exactly. So we're at 9:45.
I tell you what, Glenda, we're at 9:45, and there's a lot of information we haven't even touched yet.
Right.
Because and I think we're warming up. You guys are warming up, getting a little better with it. But there's so much in this, and this is where the majority of our relationships fail at here, because we don't agree to disagree. And when we disagree, a lot of people think that their partner is taking a stab at them, or is discounting them, or is not validating their feelings. So this and money is where we have our most opportunities in relationships. So when conflict resolution come in, it's a part of growth. Andre said he good of growth, and Anna even said it, but she said it in one word and didn't follow up on it. But Andre in his comments said it's growth. And that's what we're trying to get out of this. We're trying to let you know that it's growth. It's not a bad thing when person brings some conflict your way. It's not a bad thing. Conflict helps you grow. Conflicts make you stronger. Conflicts give you a chance to flesh out what's real and what's not real. Now we have seven tools that we're going to offer you, and I think we only did 2 tonight. The other ones are, and we'll talk about them now, because let's do a part 2. And we'll give you a chance, because you already got the outline that we're talking about already. I texted to everybody already with the notice. So next week, let's go ahead and hit the second part of this really heavy. And let's make sure, because I want to make sure that everybody on Sunday night at 9 know how to handle conflict. When conflict comes up, we don't get mad. We don't roll up our sleeves and ready to fight. We realize what they are. A chance for us to get clarity. A chance for us to grow. A chance for us to get a higher understanding of each other. A roadmap to our next guidepost. So that's what I want us to do, because we've got 7. Well, we've got 7. We've got 7 things that we've given as tools. And the tools, I'll give you all the tools, right? I'll tell you all the tools right now, and we'll talk more about them next week. The first one, Glenda said, was active listening. The second one she talked about was empathy first. Now, the third one is pause before reacting. Before you slap somebody in the face, pause and realize, is it worth it or not? The next one, and it kind of touched this one. The next one is clarity and reframe. And it says something about clarity. And clarity is when it's just simply you making sure you understand what they're saying, and you kind of give it to them back in a way that they can understand it. The next is focus on the issue, not the problem. And we call this, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. That's what we call it in our way of speaking. You focus on the issue, not the person. And the 6th one is collaborate for solutions. And I think Dr. Johnson was saying that when she's saying that she would tell a person, let's sit down, and you're not going to make a major decision about us unless us are sitting down. And that's what collaboration on solutions are. And then the last one, which is the very most important one, is check in regularly. Check in regularly. And this is, you deal with one conflict at a time. You don't wait till they pile up before you say, okay, enough's enough. Damn it, I done had it. You've been doing this, you've been doing that, you've been doing this, you've been doing that. That's it, I'm over. And that's what, if you checked in when it happens, or you address them as they come up, they don't get to pile up on you. It don't get to be so much that you have to say deuces. So this is some good work. So let's wrap it up right here. Matter of fact, this will be early night. We only did 45 minutes, so this will be an early night, and we'll come back next week, because it's the second half of this is very, very important, and I don't want us to scam over this and not get it all done. Okay? Any questions about anything that we've talked about so far tonight, or anything that you think that you want us to actually look at from tonight going forward? Okay. Glenda?
So I don't have something I want to talk about as far as tonight, but I do have a question. What is the actual date of the conference in June 2025?
June the 14th. I think it's June the 14th is the actual date.
Okay.
And you can go on our website. Right now, our website is an informational website until next Saturday. And next Saturday it'll be a information plus our sales center. It'll be Glenda's Get It and Go full service relationship coaching practice. And right now you can just go through and get information. But starting Saturday on, it'll be you can buy our products, interact with our services right there on that and it's real easy. It's reset relationships all.com diagonal reset dash virtual dash live dash. Glenn, can you put it in the chat for us right quick so everybody can see that? And it's www.resetrelationships.com diagonal reset slash virtual slash live. And that's good, and that's your site as well as that's all of our site. That's the Sunday Night at 9 website. And anything that you look on it and you want us to add or we need to change, let us know. Now that what you see right now is not the final version. The final version will be up on Saturday of next week, and you'll be able to buy our products. Now tonight we sent you a sheet that came with this notice. And the sheet showed you some of our products that's going to be on that. On that, we had Glenda's book, which is Rise Again. And then you see we have the study guides. And the study guides is what we do, how Glenda and I prepare for Sunday Night at 9. You know, the study guides are normally a lot more than we cover because we try to have everything that you need to address a certain subject. That if you get one of our study guides, anything that we talked about, you will actually know the ins and outs of it. And also on that, we have our greeting cards. Matter of fact, we have our first series of greeting cards, and it's a Deeper Love greeting cards. And they are beautiful. I don't know if you won't be able to see it on here, but you have it on that second page. And it's our Loving Deeper greeting cards. And they're unique. These are unique. These are Sunday Night at 9 unique cards. They're different. These cards have something all over. They have a front cover. The card has a front cover. Then they have a back cover. Then they have inside. On both sides, they have normally a picture on one side, and the other side has the writing, the little story. And we have them, we give them a name. I think one of them is First Promise. One is Loving You. We've got one called Uniquely Yours. We've got another called, I don't know it all six. I don't remember 6 of them. I apologize. I don't remember all 6 of them right now. But this is the first series, and it's 6, and they're beautiful. They are so beautiful. And they're thick. The card stock is really thick. And they're all, I'll be honest with you, they're like keepsakes to me. I love them. But that's me. I'm sentimental. But that's it. Glenda, you want to close this out so we can go
home? Absolutely. I don't have a problem with that. Well, as always, I thank you so much for making the sacrifice and joining us on Sunday nights at 9. I look forward to seeing you next week. If there's no other comments or any other feedback, I look to see you next week. Have a wonderful week.
Hey, goodbye, everybody. Thanks. You guys are the best. Dr. Johnson, Ava, Gigi, Annette, and Andre, and Sharon. I think Sharon's up there. On my screen, I can't see everybody, but I know Sharon was up there somewhere. All right, Sharon, get well, Sharon. We're praying for you. All right, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.